Shoulder stand to tuck to L-sit on rings. The shoulder stand to tuck to L-sit on the rings brings together these two movements in a more dynamic fashion. After mastering the shoulder stand on the rings and the L-sit on the rings, we can bring together these two movements with this transition. This tuck variation is also a progression to more advanced gymnastics movements. Set the rings to a height that you can perform a ring support with the feet off the floor. The straps should be shoulder width apart and the clips should be moved above shoulder height. As you jump to the ring support, make sure the ring straps are vertical and there is no backwards or forwards movement. Next, bring the knees towards the chest in a tuck L-sit before extending the legs to hold a full L-sit on the rings. Make sure the elbows are locked, the inside edge of the legs are pushed together, the toes are pointed, and the palms are facing inwards towards the body and not pointing behind the body. From here, bend the knees and move into a tuck L-sit before moving the shoulders forward and down while keeping the rings in front of the hips. Push down into the rings nice and hard as you begin to lift the hips up and over the rings. Notice how the hips and shoulders move in sync. When the hips are at 9 o'clock, the shoulders are at 3 o'clock. Move into a tuck shoulder stand while squeezing the elbows and triceps into the side of the torso. Make sure the tuck shoulder stand is nice and stable before you extend the hips and knees to move into the full shoulder stand on the rings. Hold the shoulder stand for the prescribed amount of time before returning to the tuck shoulder stand and then reversing the transition to return to the tuck L-sit with control. Allow the shoulders to move forward and up as you press down into the rings to return to the straight arm position. Once you reach the tuck L-sit, extend the knees to move into the L-sit on the rings. It is essential to keep the rings close by your sides. Do not allow the rings to flare out, as this will make the movement much harder. We also want to keep the palms of the hands facing inwards towards each other and never allow the palms to point backwards behind the body, as this will place the shoulders into internal rotation and could cause an injury. The aim is to move with control between the two key positions for the prescribed number of repetitions.